All right, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you are enjoying the videos so far. Okay, so in this video too, we have some set of questions that we want to go through together, right? So let's start. For the first question, we want to find the equation of the line. As I said, in this course, formulas are very important because everything that we are doing, you can see that we are using the formulas. We are just using the formulas, right? And we just do simplification. And another one that we need to know is we just need to understand the question, and then that's all. So here we want to find the equation of the line with x-intercept and y-intercept. Now, what is x-intercept? That's the first thing that we need to look at. X-intercept. So when we say x-intercept, it means that if it is a line, or let's say a curve, it cuts the x-axis only. So it means that that place y is 0. So I'm going to have 3 and 0. So that is y-intercept. Sorry, that is x-intercept. Now, y-intercept is when the graph intercepts or cuts the y-axis only. So it means that at that place, x is equal to 0. So you are going to have a coordinate of 0 and -5. So here is when y is equal to 0. So we have this coordinate here. So this is the first thing that we need to do so that we can get the coordinates. Now, the second thing that we need to think about is, now what is the formula for finding equation of the line? Wow. Okay, so we know that equation of the line is y minus y1, which is equal to the slope x minus x1. Good, you remember that, which is very nice. So what we just need to do is, this can be this, or this can be this. So let me just put in here, this is like x1 y1, and we can name this one as x2 y2. Now, since we have y-intercept here, we can just use the equation of the line, the other one, which is y is equal to mx plus c, where the c is the y-intercept, right? So if I'm using this one, I'm going to have y is equal to mx. The y-intercept is -5, so I'm going to get -5. So with this one, all I need is just the slope. But with this one, I need to do substitution. When I finish, I need to also look for the slope, right? So that is two things that I can do. So let's do that. This is y minus. So if I'm using this point as my x1, y1, I'm going to have y minus 0 is equal to the slope, and then I'm going to have x minus 3, right? So this is going to give me y, this is going to give me y is equal to mx minus 3m, or let me just maintain it, x minus 3. So what we need here is we just need to find the slope. That's the only hard work that we are going to go through. But the question is, what is the formula for finding the slope, right? So one idea that always we need to look at, we need to remember the formulas, right? So slope is equal to change in y divided by change in x. So what is change in y? We have this point here, we have this point here, right? So this is our x2, y2, x1, y1. So we are going to have y2 is -5 minus y1 is 0. x2 is 0 minus x1 is 3. So this is going to be -5 divided by -3, and this should give us 5 divided by 3. So this is the slope, right? So since we've gotten the slope, we can plug the slope in this or in this. So I'm just doing all the two so that we will see that, okay, we are getting it right. When we are writing in this form too, is the same as doing this. But we do this when we know the y-intercept, right? Good. So that is the idea. not the idea of y-intercept, meaning that always choose the coordinate here. No, the coordinate here is when x is 0 here and y is 0 here, then we call it y-intercept. So let's see what we are going to get from here. From this one, we are going to have y is equal to 5 on 3 x plus x minus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply through by 3, and when I do that, I'm going to have 3y is equal to 5x minus 3. So when I multiply this one by 3, I have this. Multiply this one by 3, this will cancel that. So I'm going to have something like this. And finally, 3y is equal to 5x minus 15. Right? This is what I'm going to get. Yeah. So if I want to write it this form, x plus 15 is equal to 0. So this will be the equation of the line. Let me pick this one and also finish it up and see this one here and finish it up and see. So this one will be y is equal to, the slope is 5 over 3x minus 5. So we are going to also still multiply through by what? 3. So we are going to have 3y is equal to 5x minus 15. And we can see that without even simplifying it, we have this one being the same as this. So we can use this equation of the line or this equation of the line, and we use this when we know the y-intercept. Right. So that is the first thing that we are going to do here. Right. So this is the equation of the line. Let's look at the next question. So the next question here, we are saying that we have an equation of a line, right? We want to find the equation of the line that is parallel to the x-axis, which passes through the point where the line this and this meet. So you see, coordinate geometry, kind of, you need to understand the terms, you need to have your formulas. So let me just give you another. You need to understand the terms, you need to remember your formulas, and then that's how you need to do. So the idea here is that now we need to sketch also. So let's try and sketch. The question is saying that we want to find the equation of the line. So let me assume that this is my x and this is my y-axis, this is my x-axis, right? Now what I want to do here is, now the question is we need to find the equation of the line, but this equation of the line here is parallel to the x-axis. What is the x-axis here? This is the x-axis. So something that is parallel to the x-axis is going to be something like this. So now the one with the red is my equation of the line. So I have something like this being the equation of the line. Right. So having something like that, then you need to remember the terms. When two lines are parallel to each other, what is the property? It means that they have the same slope. They have the same slope, right? But the question is, what is the slope for x-axis? The slope for x-axis is always 0, right? So that's one thing that you need to know. The slope of the x-axis is what? 0. So it means that if the slope on the x-axis is 0, then it means that the slope of this equation here too should be what? 0. Right. So that is another property that we need to think about. Now let's finish the question. Now he's saying that that equation passes through the point where this line and this line meet. So let's bring another point. So we can see that, let's assume that, so let me just shift this one into the middle so that I can do it very well. So let's assume that I have another line, let's say somewhere here, and then I have another line also somewhere here. Don't forget, this line should meet at a point where the equation of the line passes, so that we can have this line to, let's say, 4x plus 3y minus 6 to be equal to 10, right? And we can also have this line to be x minus 2y minus 7 is equal to 0. So Now remember, if we want to form equation of the line, what is the formula for finding equation of the line? Now let me write the equation of the line formula first. So we know that y minus y1 is equal to the slope x minus x1. So it means that basically we need a point on the equation of the line. We need a point on this, and we need the slope. But we said that the slope is equal to 0 because this line here is parallel to this x-axis here. So what are we going to do? Now we are going to say that since, so I'm going to write something here. Since the equation of the line is parallel to the x-axis, the gradient, then the gradient of the line is 0. So now that we know that the slope is 0, what will happen? It means that this equation here now becomes y minus y1, which is equal to 0 times x minus x1. So 0 times this one will be just 0. So we are going to have y minus y1 to be equal to 0, and we're just going to have y is equal to y1. So all we need is just y1, right? But as we said, for us to form the equation of the line, we need the slope, which is, we know that is 0, and we need a point. And then the point should be on this line. And for us to get the point, we need to solve this line and this line simultaneously so that we can get the point here. So let's assume that this point here is P. So that's what we need to look for. So let's solve this and this simultaneously and then try to get our function. So let me copy this and send it down there, and let's go through together. So we want to solve it simultaneously. So we want to solve this one simultaneously. Now what can we do to this? Now this, we can simplify it and have something like this. Let me see. Oops. So there is a little bit mistake here. I think my equation, this one should be 0. Yes. So my equation here, this one should be 0. Good. So let me just, so this one is not 10, it's supposed to be 0. It's equal to 0. Yeah. So this one is going to be 0. So this implies that, okay, so we are solving it simultaneously, right? So what can we do? Let's assume that this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. We can multiply equation 2 by 4 so that we can get 4x here, and then we subtract them together. So when I multiply, let's say 4 times equation 2, I'm going to have 4x minus 8y minus 4 times 7 is 28 is equal to 0. So this one, you can use your calculator to just solve it simultaneously, right? So you can, I think, I don't have calculator here, but I think I remember how to solve it. I think you need to press the mode key, and then you go to equation and you press 1. Yes, then you have the simultaneous function or formula, then I just plug them in. So let me assume that this is equation 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do equation 1 minus equation 3, right? So this minus this. So what are we going to get? Let me just divide my board into 2. 4x minus 4x will be 0. 3y minus 8y, this one become positive. So we are going to have plus 11y, right? And then what can we do again? Minus 7 minus 28. So this one become plus. So we are going to have something like minus 7 plus 28. So this is going to give us, I think, plus, is it 21 or 22? Oh, oops. We are using this one. So minus 6. So it should be minus 6 here. So this should give us 22 is equal to 0. So let's add it. We are going to have 11y plus 22 is equal to 0, and 11y is equal to minus 22. Let's divide through by 11, and we are going to have y to be equal to minus 2. Good. So that's what we need to do. So this one is simultaneous. I like learn how to eliminate some of the variables to get the other variables and use what you've gotten to also find the other one, right? So that is basically what we are doing here, right? Good. So the next thing to do is now let's try and plug this inside any of the equation to find for what? X, to find for X. So let me just shift this my solution up small. Let me just shift it above, and then let's try to use, let's say, equation 2. So let's say from equation 2, we know equation 2 is here. So we are going to have x minus 2 times y, by y is minus 2. So minus 2 minus 7 is equal to 0. So x plus 4 minus 7 is equal to 0, right? So x minus 3 is equal to 0, and x should be equal to 3. So this has helped us to find for p. Now p is x, y with the coordinate, so it's going to be 3 minus 2. So now we know p is equal to 3 and minus 2. So don't forget, this one here is x1 and this one here is y1. So we can just plug it inside the equation of the line, but we have already simplified that, and we are saying that our equation of the line should be y is equal to y1. So this will be implies that y should be equal to, what is y1 here? Y1 is negative 2. So negative 2. So this will be the equation of the line. And it is true. Look at it. Y is equal to negative 2. So even I sketch the graph, right? So let's assume that this is 0 and somewhere here is 1. Oops. No, this is negative. So it should go down. Sorry. So basically that's how. So let's assume that I put my x-axis above. Let me just put my x-axis above, right? So let's assume that I put my x-axis above, and let's assume that this one is 0, and here is negative 1, and here is negative 2. So you can see that this equation of the line, which is y is equal to negative 2, is actually this, and it is here, right? So basically that is the idea of what we were just trying to do. Yeah. So so that's what we just did, right? So the terms, as I said, formulas, learning the terms and everything. So if you have not watched the first video after the introduction video, I did a video which was talking about formulas, right? All the formulas and then the terms. You can go and watch it so that you'll be okay with some of the terms when you are using them. Let's look at the next question. So the next question here is, find the equation of the line that passes through the point 2 and 3 and the point of intersection of the lines this and that, right? So we want to, so this one is like, as I said, sketch. Always you need to sketch. So let's sketch something. Let me have my y-axis. Let me have my x-axis, right? Now we want to find the equation of the line which passes through a point 2 and 3. So let's assume that I have my 2 here on the x-axis and then 3 here on the y-axis. So this is where the point is going to be. So what I can do is now I can draw this point. I can draw the line. So let's assume that this is the equation of the line, right? So remember, the equation of the line passes through the point 2 and 3. So that's the reason why this one is passing through the point 2 and 3. So let me name this one 2 and 3. Then we are also saying that, and the point of intersection of the line, this and this. So there is a point of intersection where this line and this line is going to meet this line, because this line too also passes through the point of intersection of these lines. So let's assume that we have one line here and then we have another line here, but don't forget to make sure that they intercept at this point. So now we know that when the line meets or intercept, then it means that for us to get the point, we need to solve it simultaneously. So since we have one point here, what we need to do is we need to have another point here, right? Let me call maybe that point P, so that if I have this point and this point, now I can solve the equation of the line. Now the question is, what is the formula for finding the equation of the line? So you see that formulas, you are always we are always asking you for formulas. So y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1, right? So this is the equation of the line. So we can actually use this one as x1, y1 and plug them in, but we are not going to have the slope. For us to get the slope, we need to have 2 points. So this is necessary or very important for us to find the point here, which is P. So let's do that. Let's use the equation of the line. So 3x plus 2y is equal to 2. Then we have 4x plus 3y is equal to 7. So let's solve this one simultaneously. You can use the calculator mode 5 1. Then you just input the functions and then it will just give you the x value and the y value. But let's assume that if you want to solve, how are you going to solve this, right? So basically, always I want to make sure that I eliminate one of the variable, either x or y. So what I'm going to do is, let me call this one equation 1, let me call this one equation 2. So I look at the coefficient of this. Since the coefficient of this is 3, I'll multiply 3 by this. And then since the coefficient of this is 4, I'll multiply 4 by this so that the coefficient will be the same. So we are going to say multiply 4 to equation 1 and multiply 3 to equation 2. So I'm going to have my equation 1 now becomes 12x plus 8y is equal to 8. And then my equation 2 now becomes 12x plus 9y is equal to 21, right? So I multiply this one by 4 throughout, multiply this one by 3 throughout, so that the coefficient of this will be the same. You can also, by doing it, you can, if you want to eliminate y first, you can multiply this one by 3, everything by 3, and multiply everything here by what? 2. And you are going to eliminate what? You are going to eliminate y. So this is what I'm going to get. Now this is going to be minus, so I want to subtract this, and this will be 0, right? So 0, and then plus, don't forget I'm subtracting. Then this minus this is going to give us minus y is equal to 8 minus 21 is going to give us minus 13. I think so, right? So that's what we need to get. So we are going to get minus 13. So 0 minus y is minus y, which is equal to minus 1 3, and we divide through by negative 1, and we are going to have it to be y is equal to 1 3. Now that we know one of the points, we can put it inside any of them to find the other point. So let me say from 1, equation 1, from equation 1 we are saying that 3x plus 2y is equal to 2. That is from equation 1. So let's plug in y is equal to 13. We are going to have 3x plus 2 times 13 is equal to 2. So what are we going to get? 3x plus 26 is equal to 2. 3x is equal to 2 minus 26. 3x is equal to minus 24. 3 divides 24 how many times? I think 8. Yes. So let's do that. Let's divide this one by 3, divide this one by 3. This will cancel that. So we are going to have x is equal to minus 8. So this is helping us to get the coordinate that we are looking for. So now our P is equal to minus 8 and 13, right? So that's what we just need. Now that we have the point, the 2 points, then, and we know the equation of the line, then we need to use this point and this point to find the slope, and then now we just plug them in. So what is the slope? So let me assume that this is A. So the slope is equal to the change in y over change in x So you see one thing here, when we are solving, we are just using the formulas. Slope of the y, sorry, slope of the line, equation of the line. We are talking about midpoint. We are talking about y-intercept. So all those things that we are talking about, you'll be using them, and when you are practicing like this, it helps you to, even if you have forgotten, go and check the formula, and then, and once you are using it, now you are just going to know it just like that, like it's in your head. Anytime you see that you need the equation of the line, you just write it down. Anytime you are talking about the slope, you just write it down. So that is how you can do it. And I bet you what you can do is, when you finish with the video, whilst we are going through, you can watch. When you are done, you can just write all the questions together, right? And then try it on your own. Try to, okay, this is how I understand it, and try to write it in your own way. Help you to practice, right? So let's find the slope. So this is going to be, let's assume that this is the first coordinate, which is going to give us x1, y1, x2, y2. So we are going to have 3 minus 13 divided by 2 minus 8. So we are going to have minus 10 divided by 2 plus 8. And this is going to give us minus 10 divided by 10. Wow, this is nice. And we are having negative 1. Now that we are having negative 1, that is our slope. So when we come to the equation of the line, we said the equation of the line is y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. Now let's use P as the point that we want to use to find the slope. P is equal to minus 8 and 13. This is x1 and this is y1. So we are going to have y minus 1, 3 is equal to minus 1, 8, x minus 8. So this is y minus 13 is equal to minus 1, x plus 8, multiplied through by minus 1, minus x minus 8, and we can just group them. So y, move the x, become plus, move the minus 8, becomes also plus. So we are going to have our final results to be y plus x, and then when I add this one, I'm going to have negative 5 is equal to 0. So this is what I'm going to get at the end of the day. X plus y minus 5 is equal to 0, or you can say y plus x is equal to 5, right? So understanding the question is very important. Try and sketch it, and then it makes it very easy, right? So learn how to sketch, learn how to learn the formulas, and learning the terms used in the question. So intercept, we talked about equation of the line, and then yeah, so I think that is what's the terms that we were using here. Let's look at the last question. Oh, not the last question, I think the last two questions, right? Okay, let's look at the last but not the least question, and let's look at the other ones. Okay, so here, given that L with equation this, and the point this, so we have the equation of the line and we have this point here, right? What you want to do is want to show that the line through P, this one, we want to show that this line here, this equation of the line here through P here, is they are parallel to each other. So, and it is given that the equation of the line is this, right? So let me just try and then do that. So what the question is saying is that, let me make this one A and this one B, okay? So what the question is saying is that they've given us this equation of the line here and this point here, but we want to show that P is parallel to the line, equation of the line L here, right? So what we just need to do is, now that we know P to be x1, now that we know P to be equal to x1, y1, we need to find the slope, because we want to show that the equation of the line is equal to this, right? So the term here that we are using is, we know that P is parallel to what? L. So that's what we are using. That's the most important thing that we are using there. And as soon as we know that they are going to have the same slope, right? So we want to now find the equation of the line, right? The new line. Good. So now equation of the line is y minus y1 m x minus x1, right? And basically the point given to us is also x1 y1. So already the substitution is done, right? So only thing that we need is we need to find the slope. But since P is parallel to, since the line here which passes through P is parallel to L, then they have the same slope. So now let's pick the equation x plus by plus c is equal to 0. Don't forget the equation with y-intercept is y is equal to mx plus c. This will help us to find the slope. So let's do that. This is going to give us by is equal to minus x minus c. So I just move this one here, move this one here. Then the coefficient of this one is 1. So we need to divide through by b. Divide this one by b, divide this one by b, divide this one by b. So we are going to have y to be equal to, this will cancel that, y to be equal to minus a over b x minus c over b. When you compare this one to this, we can see clear that our slope is minus a over b. Good. So now that we know the slope and we know the point, we can just plug it inside the equation of the line. So let's do that. This is going to give us y minus, now our y1, as I said, is the same as y1. What is the point? So still y1 is equal to, the slope now is minus a over b. So minus a over b. Then x minus, our x1 is the same as x1 here. So we have x1. So all we need to do is we need to simplify and show that it's equal to this. So let's go through. I'm going to multiply through by b. So I'll multiply the left by b, right by b. So I'm going to have b times y minus y1 times, no, equals b times minus a over b, then x minus x1. So what happens? B will cancel b, and when I simplify, I'm going to have by minus by1 is equal to minus ax minus x1. So let's look at what they are looking for, then we work accordingly. Okay, so let's simplify. By minus by1 is equal to minus ax plus ax1. So we have ax and by on the left. So what is ax? Ax is here. Let me move it here. So I'm going to have ax plus by. So ax to this side become positive, plus by, and this should be equal to, which one comes first? Ax1 comes first. So ax1, then this one moves and we get plus by1. So that's what you're going to get. Oops, this one's supposed to be plus. So this is what you're going to get at the end of the day. This is what you're going to get at the end of the day. All right, so what is the next thing that we need to do? What is the next thing that we need to do? So please forgive me, this one's supposed to be plus here. Good. So what is the next thing that we need to do? We need to show that now the line now is perpendicular to L, right? So if it is perpendicular, we don't need to do a whole lot, right? So the B is, we have already done the hard work. So B is, now equation of the line is y minus y1 is equal to. So when we are saying that they are perpendicular to each other, that is the term that we need to remember. You need to understand perpendicular, right? So if they are perpendicular to each other, then the slope is just the negative reciprocal of that slope. So this is -1 divided by m. That will be the slope, right? So instead of having just m, we need to take negative reciprocal of that. And this is going to be x minus x1. So the point is x1, y1, which is the same thing. So we don't need to do anything there. So what we just need to do is just do substitution. Y minus y1 is equal to minus 1 divided by minus a divided by b, x minus x1. So m is equal to this. So let's try and simplify. This is going to be y minus y1 is equal to, this one here is going to be b divided by a, x minus x1. Okay, so this is how it is. I have minus 1 divided by minus a divided by b. This is the same as, I'll write minus 1. Then instead of this division, I'll just write it divided by, right? Minus a over b. And this is minus 1 times b divided by minus a. So minus will cancel the minus, and 1 times b over a is what we have here. Good. So what we just need to do is we just need to do the simplification, and then we are done, right? So that's all we need. Let me just put this one here so that we can do the simplification. So multiplied through by a, we are going to have a y minus y1 b x minus x1. Expand xy minus xy1 is equal to bx minus bx1. Let's look at what they are looking for. So they are looking for bx minus ay first. So bx, okay, so bx is here, so it stays there. So we are going to have bx. Remember, bx is here. Then I move ay. So when I move ay here, it becomes minus ay is equal to, remember now I need to move this one here. So when I move, this one was here and I move this one, so I need to move this. And when I move this one, I become positive, so I'm going to have bx1. And this one is already here, so I'm going to have minus ay1. Is it the same as what they are looking for? Yes, I think so. So this is what they are looking for at the end of the day. Good. So bx minus ay, then bx1 minus ay1. Good. So that's what they are looking for. So the terms that we just need to know, when you know the formulas and then you remember the terms too that we are using, it's very important. All right, let's look at the last question here, and I think we are done for this one. So let's look at the last question and we will be done here. Now, the last question here is, we have 3 points, and first we want to find the angles between the straight line AB and BC, right? So that's what we just need to do. Now, let's assume that the thing is something like this. So it means that we are going to have 2 angles. We are going to have one angle here, let's say theta, and another angle here, let's say alpha. Remember, as soon as we know this, this is the same as this because they are opposite to each other, and this one too is the same as this. So here we just need to find 2 angles. But what we can do is, we know that angle on the line or on the straight line is sum up to 180. So what we can do is we can just find one angle and subtract it from 180 and get the other one. So that's what we just need to do, right? So now what is the formula for finding this? So let's find the acute angle first, right? Let's find the acute angle first. So we are saying that, let me make this one A and B. So this one is going to be A, the acute angle, let's say theta is a small one, which is less than 180, is given by, so don't forget this is AB, and let's assume that this is BC, right? This is how I'm just doing it. But basically this is not how that thing's supposed to be, like the graph. So let me just draw it very nicely. So something like, I have this A, B, and let me say this one is 2 is C. So I have this line AB here and I have the BC here, right? So I have the acute angle here because acute angle is less than 180. Then we can extend the graph, extend the line, and have another angle here, which is alpha. So the alpha one is when we are done finding the acute angle, we can use that one to find that. Now, how do we find the angle for this? Now, remember the trick I showed you, the trick formula that I gave you. I said the slope is equal to tan theta, right? So this one is given by tan theta is equal to the slope. So I gave you this formula in the first video when we were looking at the formulas, right? So what we just need to do is, since this one is slope, what we need to do is, since the question is talking about AB and BC, we can find the slope and then we solve it from there, or we take it from there. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do is, now the slope here, anytime you want to use this formula right here, this is when we have when you have just a line, then we can have a slope. But basically what we can see from here is that we have line AB and line BC. So it means that we cannot use one of the slope to solve it. So this is going to transform. We are going to use the tan property to do that. So what will be the tan property that we are going to use to do this? This is going to be tan theta, which is equal to absolute of m1 minus m2 divided by 1 plus m1 m2. So this is what we are going to use to work out our formula. So please, I think I didn't give you this formula here. So I think I told you, whilst you are going through the angle between this one, things will come up and then we write it down. So tan theta is equal to this. So you can just jot this one down. If you don't want to jot it down, MERB series for next semester, we have all the formulas in front of I think first, second, third pages. So you can have that one too there as well. All right, so let's do that. Now what we need to do is, let's find the first slope. So what is m1, which is a, b, and then m2 will be b, c. So let's go through that. Let me write the point. Point A is minus 2, 1. Point B is 2, 3. And point C is minus 2, minus 4. So let's do that. What is the slope of AB? Now we said m1 should be the same as the slope of AB. So we know that this is change in y minus change in divided by change in x. So this is going to be, now we are working with A and B. So you can pick this one to be x1 and this one to be x2. So we are going to have 3 minus 6, right? Oh, this one's supposed to be 1. So 3 minus 1 divided by 2 minus minus 2. So this is going to give us 2 divided by 2 plus 2, 2 divided by 4, and the first slope is going to give us 1 over 2. Now let's look at m2. What is the slope of BC? The same y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, and this is going to give us, now we are using this and that, so minus 4 minus 3 divided by minus 3, is it minus 3 minus 2? I don't write my point very well. Minus 2 minus 2. So this is going to give us minus 7 divided by minus 4, and this is 7 over 4. So now that we know m1, m2, we can just do substitution inside the formula here. So let's do that. We are going to have tan theta is equal to m1 is 1 over 2 minus m2 is 7 over 4 divided by 1 plus m1 times m2. So 1 over 2 times 7 over 4. This is what you are going to get. So let's try and simplify. Now we put absolute so that when it is negative, it just go away. So what is 1 over 2 minus 7 over 4? What are we going to get? Basically, I think we should get something like minus 5 divided by, let me see, 4, right? So that's what you are going to get. I'm sure, yeah. then divided by, so instead of using this divided by, I'm just using it like this, divided by, then, or let me just maintain it first, divided by 1 plus, this time this is going to be 7/8, yeah, with absolute, and let me just simplify it towards this place. So this will be minus 5/4 divided by, when I add this one, I'm going to have 15 divided by 8 absolute. Good. And this is, now I can write this one as minus 5/4 divided by 15/8. And this will be minus 5/4 times 8/15. Now 4 goes here, 1 goes here, 2, 5 goes here, 1 goes here, 3. Right. So what will be the final solution in here? This is going to be absolute of minus 2 on 3, and absolute of minus 1 on minus 2 on 3 is going to give us 2 divided by 3. Good. So tan theta should be 2 divided by 3. So now what we just need to do is, let's try and then compute it, right? So let me clean up some of the solution, all this, because now we know that tan theta is equal to 2 on 3. So this guy here is equal to 2 divided by 3. So let's find for theta. You can just use your calculator to check that. Tan inverse of 2 divided by 3. So what is tan inverse of 2 divided by 3? So 3.69, or you can do it just 7. 3.7. Right. So now that we know the theta is one of the angle, right? So for us to find the other angle, then we can say that alpha is equal to, or alpha plus theta is equal to 180, because they are on the same line. So alpha will be 180 minus theta, and this is going to be 180 minus 3.7, and this should give us something like 146.3. Yes. So this is what we are going to get at the end of the day. So these are the angles that we are going to get. So we can conclude that the angles are 3.7 and 146.3. Good. Now let's do the last one, which is B, and then we are done, right? Let's do the last one, which is B, then we are done. So what I'm going to do is, let me just move this up here small, and then move this one also up here small, and just move this one to up here small. Now what is B? B is simple. B is saying that determine whether A, B, and C are collinear. So when you say something is collinear, this is what it means. It means that we are looking at where A, we have B, and C. So it means that they are on the same line, right? And if we have a point which is on the same line, then it means that they are parallel to what? Each other. And if they are parallel to each other, then it means that they need to have the same slope, right? So I can pick a line from A to B, and a line, so I can pick this line A to B, right, and pick this line, and pick this line from B to C, and they should have the same slope. So what we mean is, now since they are parallel to each other, then the slope of AB should be the same as the slope of what? BC. But unfortunately, we did that and it was not true. What is the slope for AB? The slope for AB, we had it to be half, 1/2, which is 1/2. What is the slope of BC? We had it to be 7/4. So we can see that the slope of AB is not the same as the slope of BC. So what are we going to say? We are going to say that the points are not collinear. So here I can conclude that since the gradient of AB is not the same as the gradient of BC, the point A, B, and C are not. I need to shift solutions up so that I can conclude it. Good. Remember, our final results should be a big one and not collinear. So good. So that is what we need to do. So this is the last question in this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. And as I said, always remember to, the formulas, the terms that is being used in the questions, and practice more questions. I'll try and compile some questions, and then maybe I'll put it on the platform for you guys to practice. And also, I think the same questions that we've solved, you can just be taking screenshots whilst we are going when we are done with the questions, and then you try it on your own when you have free time. Again, you can just try them and see if you are understanding what we are doing. See you in the next video.